everybody.
Hello.
April 7th, 2026. It is 5:30 Central Time, and we have been missing for a few weeks because we had an epic event. What was it? Talk to me, y'all. What did we do last week or the week before?
This
Demo
little
days.
tiny thing called demo days.
New, impressive. I gathered the most powerful women in the defense industry into this room right here. And I am so impressed by each and every one of you. And to all of our exhibitors who came out and showed out, and all the attendees who came out and tried equipment. Try it before you buy it. And next year is going to be even more epic. And don't miss your chance. But today, Yadira, who do we have on today?
Today we have a lovely Lisa in the house, and she's in the hot seat.
Hot seat. This was Michaela's idea, by the way.
Thanks, Michaela. Thank you.
You're welcome.
She thought it would be great social media content.
It'll be something.
It'll be great.
So, Veronica, you want to get us started, sis?
I do. So for those of you out there that don't know who Lisa is, Lisa with AutoGate, and kind of what we're here today is Lisa has really expressed a lot of interest in joining the leadership team for Women of FWA. So our whole point in today is we're going to put her in the hot seat. We're going to learn about, how she got in the industry, what she's about, why she would want to join this group, why does she believe in this group, kind of all the ins and outs of what we're doing. So Lisa, tell us about yourself. How'd you get in this industry?
This is probably one of my favorite stories to tell. It's like a broken record every time I tell it, but I still enjoy it. So my mom started with AutoGate in 1997. So I was a whopping 7 years old. And AutoGate probably had about 11, 12, 13 people at the time. They had 2 office trailers and a small shop. And she came in and started doing bookkeeping and eventually started doing a lot of other things. And as the company grew, it got to be this really exciting thing. We got our big building and I started kind of working there on and off. Answering phones, doing odd jobs when I was probably, 14 or 15. We won't mention the stuff before that where I was just there for fun, filing all of the time.
All the perks of being a child and somebody in the industry. It just happens.
Don't let me fool you though. I loved it. And it's fun to look back now because it's like all of these companies and places that we've done business with. Now I get to see those companies face to face, see the people that were, involved back in the day and have systems from, 15, 20, 25 years ago, things like that. So I was kind of part-time on and off throughout high school and college, worked there a little bit in a more full-time capacity, doing some reception stuff before I moved out of state. I was out of state when I got pregnant with my son, Liam, and the admin assistant position was opening up. And so mom had talked to the owners, Bill and Don. She was like, hey, Lee's coming home. She needs a job. Can she come fill this position? And they were like, yeah. She goes, oh, by the way, she's going on maternity leave in February. And they said, bring her home. So Bill and Don have been like family for years and, very appreciative of giving me a chance to come home and get to work right away. I actually moved home and went into the office the day after I got home. And somewhere along the lines, Brian, our GM, was like, hey, I know you want to do more. I know you want to be more involved. We've not really had a true marketing person. And are you interested in doing this? Because I have other things on my plate, which he does all the time. So started kind of dipping my toes in marketing land and now I'm here, and I've been going to some trade shows and learned a lot of things, taken some classes along the way because marketing was not my background. My degree is in music education, so this is not what I went to school.
That seems to be what really happens, especially in this industry when you get bit by the bug, as I refer to it as the fence bug. And it doesn't matter if you're on the gate side of it or if you're on the install side of it or the manufacturer, the supplier. It's this fence bug that floats around and just bites you. And all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, this is where I belong.
Yeah. And, I can't imagine being anywhere else at this point. It just it works. And then, I've told this story too. I found Susan on social media and started following her. And then I followed her to a trade show and found her on the show floor. And I was like, I want to be friends. And the rest is history. And then I got to meet everybody, the women of FWA. And it's been really helpful for me to find this group and make these connections. I feel like I could reach out at any time with questions on things. And I want to help be that person for other people as well. So,
oh, I love that. That's so sweet, Lisa. And since your background is in music, if you had to pick a song that described the fence industry, what song would it be?
I mean, obviously the one that Brian made, that he played the entire time at the fence show.
Please, we need to not condone that behavior, Lisa. We need to, I know he's over there listening behind you, Jiro. We need to not.
He's like,
I'm sorry.
I love it. Michaela, you got the next set of the hot seat questions?
Let's go more into leadership. How would you describe your leadership style?
Oh, as far as a leadership, I definitely am a listening type of leadership. I like to know the full story. I like to know details. Just so if I'm going to help somebody out, I want to really be able to help them. And in order to do that, you have to listen. You have to open your ears. You have to open your eyes. Being cognizant of waiting to respond. Don't listen to respond. Listen to, gather the information, and then the responses will come later.
No, I love that. I think listening is so important and to understand everyone, right? And there's different forms of communication, so listening is a huge one. What do you think makes a strong leader in this industry?
A strong leader definitely needs to be knowledgeable. In the industry, it also helps not only knowledgeable about, what we're doing here, whether it's, installations or manufacturing or safety, things along those lines, but you also need to be knowledgeable about, where you can go to get that information. Laying down in the parking lot. Best post I ever made.
For a second, we want to talk about Lisa's dedication to her craft. There is a photo on social media that struck gold, and she's literally laying down in a parking lot to get the shot of all shots, and that's what JC Guri is talking about right now. So very few people I know will get on the ground and take a photo for their company, for a company they don't even own, right? Because they believe in it that much. That is a leader.
Absolutely.
That is a true social media person.
Absolutely.
I tried my best. But yeah, to be knowledgeable, you have to also know that, if you're not the person, who can you go to? Who can you direct people to? That's a big thing, is having those connections and knowing, who can help you in a situation. I think, that's a big part of it too.
Done. I'm done with the comments, y'all. Here, bring us home, sister. Bring us home in the next chunk.
So Lisa, Susan, I'm gonna go a little bit off script. Just for me to get to know Lisa a little bit more. So sometimes, Lisa, we kind of fall into the career. We kind of fall into a career because of our parents, kind of like I did. Same thing with you. Do you still feel passionate about the way that you're headed?
Yes. The industry is changing, and it's never the same day twice.
Yeah.
I'm constantly learning new things. I'm constantly, there's still so much for me left to learn, especially because what we do at AutoGate is such a niche thing, especially as manufacturing. Shameless plug. That's why I'm looking forward to going to the women's retreat, because I can't wait to learn all the things. But yeah, I'm still passionate. It's one of those things where Mom is probably getting to the point where within the next couple of years, she's going to be looking at retiring, and, that will be sad, but it's definitely, I see myself in this industry and continuing, and even just, knowing the history of the company and knowing, where it came from and the roots. It's kind of the same with the industry. Once you start diving in and learning more things about it, the more involved you get, the more attached you are to it. There's always something exciting going on. So I definitely am still passionate about this. Definitely. The way that my brain is wired too, I don't think I would still be here, because I can't work on things that I'm not passionate about. So it would be a really hard sell for me to still be here if I wasn't really excited about things that were happening in the industry.
I love that, because even for me, like I've told my story in the past as well, like having just, a fence company in Las Vegas, a small fence company in Las Vegas, but then actually getting to be a part of this group, and then the trade shows that we're involved with, has kind of opened my eyes to a whole new world. And I'm glad that you share that passion as well.
Was that a shameless Disney plug? I'm just asking. I really wanted you to sing that when you said
that.
All right. So one of the really cool things about this industry that I think is you get out of it what you put into it. If you put yourself in these spots and you put yourself into learning, and you put yourself, in places that your position or, your affiliation in the industry is, put them outside of your bubble. The amount of doors and windows and insight that you get is ginormous, and you get out of it what you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Completely agree. Do you have any mentors or people who have helped you along the way to get to where you are now?
That's really funny that you're the one asking me this, because I mean, I definitely would consider you as a mentor. Just you were the first person outside of my specific job. Obviously, there's people at work. I would shout them all out. That would be far too many of them. From Brian giving me a chance and walking me through things. Bill and Don, who own the company now. There's so many people that I learn from on a daily basis still at AutoGate, but outside of AutoGate, like I said, you could have seen me coming up to you at the trade show and just been like, oh, who is this person? Like, okay, cool, thanks, bye. But you weren't. You were very welcoming, and you were like, yeah, here's my cell phone number, let's chat. And I was like, okay. And it's you learn from everybody, but I mean, I would say you and Brian and Bill and Don.
I love that. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That actually means a lot. I'm a firm believer as well that I have different mentors for each segment of my leadership style, for my learning style, for growth, for personal life. And everybody comes into your life for a reason. It's not an accident. And I think a lot of women need to know that that's okay. You don't have to have one mentor. You don't have to have one person you follow. Because I mean, it's just like reading a self-help book. Some of it makes sense to you. Some of it you're like, yeah, that's not going to apply to me. I'm not going to do it. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's a big deal. So, Veronica, you got some more questions, sis?
I do. What drew you to this group? This is why we're here. We're interviewing, and now we're really going to start asking these questions of, we use the hashtag You Can Sit With Us because we do want everybody to come have a conversation. And, you come to our booth, and sometimes we're talking about gates, and sometimes we're talking about fence, and sometimes Yadira is stealing babies, and sometimes we're doing all these things. But what really drew you to this group?
The very welcoming aspect of things. So, obviously we're all spread out everywhere. Being able to watch every week this group of women get together and talk about things and sift through things. And, it runs the gamut of topics. But I think what really did it for me was showing up at the Fence Show, knowing the booth was going to be there, coming by. I think it was Michaela sitting on the floor. I don't remember who else was with you at the time.
It was probably me and Andrea.
And you were putting things together, and, I could tell you were tired, but this still genuine excitement to meet in person was there. And it was like that for the entire rest of the show. Not once did I feel like, oh, there's, Lisa and she does manufacturing and she's not installing fences and, she's different than us. And there was never that disconnect there of, what we do is different. And so it's not a good fit. And then going to the not round table, but the happy hour that we did. Oh, Sean. The happy hour that we did where, we sat at the tables and we were talking about, where we all came from in the business. And there were a couple of different people that shared their story and how they got involved in the business. And it's like, we all came from so many different backgrounds and companies, and it's, the camaraderie is there. I have been a social person my whole life, but sometimes, when I'm sitting at my desk behind a computer screen, it's nice to see things from other people popping up. And I see, the women of FWA and the ladies involved a lot. I follow a lot of people on Facebook now. We've talked about this before too, Susan, where Facebook was not where I went for, AutoGate or industry related things. And now so many of my connections are, fence industry people, but it's a lot of the women that I met there. And it really, it resonates with me that there's a group of us that we can go and be like, how was your day today? Because mine, it was rough. And somebody is going to answer back and be like, hey, me too. Let's talk about it.
Well, and when Veronica agreed graciously to help start this group, and almost against her will, her most important point was for us to have those contacts in our pockets so we could make those phone calls, so that we could have that support system that didn't exist. And I think it has changed the industry for women in it. It has made them excited that they have that opportunity now. And I don't know if we could ever go back and replicate that. But that was so valuable. Yes, 100%. Thank you, Veronica. That was such a big deal. Okay, Michaela or Yadira, we have time for one more question and then a lightning round.
Go, Yadira.
Who wants to take it?
Okay. What advice would you give to your younger self or a younger women coming into the industry?
Don't be afraid to speak up. I still struggle with that, but it's one of those things where, you got to be confident in what you do. When I first started really diving into the marketing aspect of this, I was clueless. I had to ask about everything around every corner. And then eventually I got to a point where I was like, hey, I know this stuff and I know what I need to do. And now I'm a little more prone to speaking up when I see something that it's like, no, I don't think we should do it this way. Let's try it this way. And here's why. Don't be afraid to do that, because if you don't do that, then you're not going to know if it was going to work or not. You're going to make mistakes. But you have to have, the confidence to speak up.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, so we added a lightning round a few weeks ago. It's 4 questions. I'll go first, then Veronica, then Michaela, then Yadira. Do y'all see the lightning questions, ladies?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to ask you a question. You answer it quickly. Can you do that, Lisa?
I will do my best.
Coffee or energy drinks?
Energy drinks.
All right. Early mornings or late nights?
Ooh, late nights.
I'm with you on that one.
All right. Field or office?
Field.
Keep going, Susan, because I don't see the lightning questions.
Favorite part of the industry is Yadira's question. What's your favorite part of the industry?
Seeing how everything fits together and works together, like gates and fencing and access, and how everything fits together as one piece.
I have one more question. Answer it as precise and as quick as you possibly can. What are you going to bring to the Women of FWA leadership team to help us continue to grow? And like, where are we missing, and what will you be contributing to being such a huge part of this group?
Adding excitement, because I know everybody's excited to be here anyways, but adding another level of excitement, coming from a manufacturing standpoint, as an automatic gate. Like I said before, I feel, a lot of the businesses are, fencing companies, installation companies. There are many manufacturers, but I think I bring a little bit, of a different aspect of looking at things. So
Love that.
I totally love that. Lisa, I want to thank you so much for joining us. And I also want to discuss, apparently we're starting a GoFundMe to renew Yadira's Disney Pass that just expired.
It expires the week of demo days, you guys, just so everybody knows. She was so sad. She was like, I just looked and it's expired.
I want to thank you for joining us, for sharing a piece of your heart with us. I don't think you realize how much we get from you as well. And I can't wait to learn from you and grow with you and get stronger with you. I can't wait to see where the future is going. I do want to mention we have something coming up. What is it called, Veronica?
Weird. The retreat coming up?
That thing.
So
How do people register, Michaela?
You could go to fenshow.com and all the events are there and you can register. Easy peasy.
starts at $50. That includes the food, that includes the house, that includes the education.
And that includes a good cry with Yadira, because if I know her, we're all going to cry at least once.
yes.
I love a good cry.
I'm not a crier.
Me too. Me too. I also want to mention next week is CMM's open house. So get a hold of Sean Behensky and he'll tell you how to register. Outside of that, we will see you guys next week. Is there anything anybody would like to say before we close out?
I can't wait to have you come on, Lisa. I think that you definitely will bring a level of excitement that we need.
I'm excited.
So Lisa, thank you for your time, and thank you for being interested in this and believing in our passion and believing in our vision and our goals and what, we try to do every single day. Coffee was the right answer. That's just because that is all drinks.
Do not be confused. I had to pick one and I had an energy drink today, so I picked that, but I start my day with coffee and then also have an energy drink. So
That's me, both. I wouldn't have been able to pick one. So again, thank you everybody for events. Of course, we have the retreat coming up in Branson, Missouri in June. Do
Get
not miss
there.
it. Education is laid out. Lisa will be joining us, of course, during that one as well. Of course, we have the Fence Show and Security Expo that is coming up in October. We are getting ready to release a bunch of information on education on that. So stay tuned for more information. Women of FWA, our hashtag is and always will be. You can sit with us. Come see us, reach out, come talk to us.
Thanks for having me.